What is the investigation that made you rattled, or maybe even made you think you might not be able to do a paranormal investigation anymore? For me, it was Randolph County Asylum in Winchester, Indiana. We went a couple of months ago, and should have known the moment we pulled up, got out of the car, lifted up the hatch, I hear a woman talking in my ear. Couldn't make out what was being said. You know how that goes. Just low vibration voice. I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. So walk in the door, bam, like a wall hitting you. Just a vibe, a heaviness. Not dark initially, just heavy. Lots, like layers of it. Like I've never experienced before. It was really odd. So we did our tour with Ted. It was a pretty lengthy tour. But when we were done, Chris and I both had to sit in the gear room and put our heads on the desk. And we closed our eyes for 30 minutes. We felt like our energy had just been completely drained. It was pretty crazy. So we started down in the basement, and we knew we wanted to set up a static camera down the hallway where Ida's room is, going down towards Doris's kitchen. So we did that. As we're setting up, we hear, hello. It sounded, if you've seen the Project Fear episode where Chelsea hears the woman in there, it was that exact sound. It was identical. I went back and watched it after our investigation, and it could not have been any more identical. It was wild. I mean, out of the gate, just rattled us in a good way. It was exciting. So we ended up spending a lot of time in the basement. That basement is, I don't even know how to explain that basement. It was just alive. You kept hearing movement and footsteps. Chris and I were walking side by side, going down the aisle, again, going down that hallway. And we both had cameras. And all of a sudden, we hear full run somebody coming up behind us. And we flipped around, both of us, so quick. And of course, there was nobody there. We were sitting in their morgue that they used to drain the bodies during the cholera epidemic there. And we heard the loudest banging, like bang, 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 bang. We investigated and couldn't find any reason for it. We did hear some, what we thought were footsteps. And, like with all of them, we go and we investigate and we look and see, and we kept hearing them. And then they became kind of like a pattern. So we're like, okay, there's something going on here. So we were able to debunk that. We were able to find a drain that was kind of bubbling up, but it kind of resonated like a footstep, but not what we heard. We heard the footsteps behind us. And then we did, we walked through the rest of the building, of course, and it was, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like, I almost was afraid to look with my eyes. I was looking through the viewfinder of my camera, which I don't typically do. I hold it and then I experience it. And I was afraid. I was afraid. It was the first time I've been scared. There's just that, I don't even know how to explain that one, but when we were done, as a matter of fact, let me back up. We had intended to sleep there. They have sleeping quarters there. That was our intention. We were about 2 hours from home. And about 4 a.m, we're like, I don't want to stay here. Neither one of us. I had been thinking it, but didn't want to say it. And I had just said, I kind of wish we'd have just planned to drive home. And Chris was like, I will drive. I don't want to stay here. I'm like, okay. So we did. But as we were loading our gear up to the car to leave, we had to take a couple of trips, of course. And after the first trip, we heard a door slam inside the asylum. And we're like, what the hell? I mean, it was a clear door slam. Okay, well, they're either happy we're leaving or they're mad we're leaving. So it happened again when we took out the second load. So Chris was like, okay, we're going to go back in. We're going to take a sweep one more time with the cameras, just take another little walk through. And so we had gone in, and there's a bathroom right off the kitchen area, which is also where the door to the basement is. He went in to use the restroom. And I was standing at the kitchen counter, kind of like, leaned over with my phone, kind of looking through some stuff. My back was to the basement door. And I hear rattling of the door handle. And I turn around and I look at the doorknob. I could see the doorknob moving. I was done. I had just been done. I had been like, tense all day. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. So I ran over to the bathroom, banged on the door, said, we're done. We're done. We're leaving. So we did. And I really had a lot of thoughts after that for days. I mean, I would even say a couple weeks, where I questioned myself. Am I cut out for this? Should I be doing this? Am I going to bring something home? Because it felt like there was somebody right on top of us the whole time. It was a really good experience. I know that sounds wild if you don't do this, but I think if any skeptic would go into that place and come out a believer, it was just absolutely madness. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And I went from, I don't know if I can do this, to we're rebooking it for 2026. A little bit more aware. We'll do some protection stuff. Just go in, protecting myself, because I am sensitive, and I'm kind of learning that whole part of myself, and I know I need to be careful. So let me know, what was your investigation that made you say, I'm not sure if I can do this? All right, thanks guys, bye.